Hey guys, today we have this. It's a Craftsman 944 push lawnmower from Sears, Canada. Comes equipped with the big goofy wheels and a 5.5 horsepower Tecumseh Eager 1 engine. A little bit of quick history on this. Coworker gave it to me because it's got a few minor problems. Apparently, it's been run for a while without any air filter at all. Also, apparently, it's been overheated a little bit and he took apart the engine and looked inside. There's pinholes in the piston. But really neat thing, this video up here, that lawn boy, well, I pulled out a piston which was actually in great condition, and sure enough, I'm almost 100% positive it'll fit this engine. So we're gonna do a piston swap and see what works and what doesn't. All right guys, stay tuned, because this Craftsman is actually gonna get a new lease on life. Maybe, we'll see. The deck, however, it's seen better days, but it'd be pretty cool to get this thing running. All right guys, let's get into it. Okay, so let's just make sure there's no fuel. Nope, I would say it looks pretty dry in there. Good, so we won't have to worry about fuel leaking all over the place. So let's get this carburetor and exhaust off. This way we can get everything else apart. Since there's no fuel in it, we won't have to worry about it leaking all over. Hopefully the heater shuts off soon. So let's get the carburetor off and this exhaust off. Alright, so exhaust is 7/16. Ooh, lots of oil in the exhaust. Next we'll switch out to a Phillips bit so we can remove the intake. Yep, definitely been off before. It's good to see all these are in the correct order, so that's good. Although this linkage is a little bent the wrong way, little too much bend on it. Normally this is supposed to be straight. So let's use these pliers and bend it out straight again. I can understand why. I can totally understand why. It is very frustrating when this constantly falls off the governor arm. I absolutely understand why they would do that. But that puts way too much tension on the spring, and as you can see, it's kind of stretched out. So this spring it's kind of no good to control any kind of surging. It's not very good for that anymore. But that's alright. Fuel line seems okay. I don't think it's petrified. It should come off okay. Let's try getting under there with a pick. There, that should loosen it up now. There, get rid of the adhesion, and it usually comes off pretty easy. So there, carburetor intake, throttle, which isn't frozen, which is great. All that all together, now that's all off. We'll look into that shortly. Once we get the engine removed, I'll bring the carburetor back, we'll put it into a white bucket, and start taking that apart. Now let's get the shroud off. So it looks like we have here some kind of a sheet metal screw, a bolt that I'm not 100% sure should be there, but there's nothing here and there's nothing here. So missing hardware. Seems pretty normal. It is a pretty old engine, so over the years, I guess, maintenance and stuff, it kind of disappears. It happens. Wow. What's with all the paper washers? You know, I recognize this type of a screw. Interesting. They use these in electrical boxes. So this looks like 1/4 inch, no, 5/16. Switch out 5/16, pull this one out. So that gets rid of the pull recoil, or at least the cover anyway. Bye, cover. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 1/4 inch screws that we got to take out. I don't think those are the right ones. Definitely not the right ones. That's a correct screw. Not those other ones. Now the last one is back here. Another sheet metal screw. So that gets rid of the pull recoil now. Goodbye handlebars. There. That's gone. Shroud's free, we can remove that. Oh, what's this? Sorry, I didn't realize one of the cameras had shut off. It's only got a 10-minute limit on it to prevent overheating. I had to replace my phone, it unfortunately died. And I was showing the difference between the screws, and I didn't realize that the camera didn't see it. So here's one of the screws I pulled out, and as you can see, it's a machine thread. And this one here, it's a sheet metal screw. Take a look at this gem. I don't think that one belongs in there. Just because it fits doesn't mean it should. That one's got a nut on it to prevent it from bottoming out, and yeah, it's already bottomed out because that nut's doing nothing. That's a little concerning. That is a little concerning, the amount of missing hardware. Is this going to come off? Oh dear. Wow. Okay, now this is something new. That screw wasn't actually doing anything. And that's not the right type of oil seal. Yeah, this oil seal, that may fit, but yeah, that's definitely oil in there though. I don't like seeing rust, especially on the dipstick. But yeah, there's definitely oil in there. So we're gonna have to drain that out. Let's get the fuel tank off. And we should have... You know, it's a good thing I prepared for this. I got all the right sockets and everything ready to pull this apart, and none of the hardware is original on this thing. I mean, what the heck is this? Insane. Well, at least they put the hardware back, so to speak, or replaced it. It's a good thing I have a bunch of Tecumseh engines that I've taken apart. And this thing is, I don't know if it's coated in oil. Yeah, I don't know if this is coated in oil or coated in water. I think it's oil. Okay, so that gets rid of the cover. Let's get rid of the spark plug. I think it's 3/4. Nope, 13/16. I've got my magnetic spark plug socket, 13/16. Seems a little wet. Okay, so let's get the coil off, because then we're going to also have to get the flywheel off. So the coil's 1/4 inch. Those are original. Disconnect the ground wire. Let's get that flywheel nut off. So I believe that's also 3/4. Yep, 3/4. So we'll rip that free. Hey, look at that, guys. Look what I found. a red subscribe button. If you made it this far into the video, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget, give it a thumbs up. Comment below. I love to read your comments, and I try to reply to as many of them as I can, especially the early ones. All right, guys, back to the video. Keep all that together. Now we got to get this guy off. Easiest way is with the air chisel. Just punch it on the top and pry up from the bottom, and that should shock it off. And then we'll drain out the oil. Let me power up the air compressor. I'll shut off the cameras for now while the air compressor does its thing, and then be right back as soon as that's all done. All right, so let's get this flywheel off. Yellow. Come here, Yellow. There we go. Interesting. Doesn't seem to want to budge. So before we mushroom out the top, using this thing. So I put the nut on, hopefully to keep the air chisel from slipping, and also help, hopefully, mitigate any chance that the head of the bolt mushrooms out a little bit. There, let's tighten it down a bit more. And not only that, since the bolt's on, if it does mushroom a little bit, it should be able to help straighten it out. There we go. Perfect. That one was on there good. Gonna get the impact. Let's pull that off. There we go. See, will it go back on no problem? Clean some debris out of these threads. I'll zip it down quickly, just a little bit. Oh yeah, no problem. Let's get the flywheel off. Flywheel looks good. It's actually a pretty robust flywheel. Good weight to it. Set that aside. Lots of oil on top, but I have a feeling it's just from oil changes. Hopefully this has... That startled me! I'll wait for that to die. A lot of oil up here. I think that's from oil changes though. I don't think there's anything sinister going on up here. I don't think that seal is leaking at all. Let's get the flywheel key out. Anything else? No, I'll leave the PCV in. I guess about time we drain this oil. Okay, so let me get my siphon. I'll get everything set up and drain it out, and then I'll turn the cameras back on once it's emptied of oil. All right, see you soon. All right, let's crack these head bolts loose. They're all really loose. They should not be this loose. I'm shocked this thing even ran. That's all of them. Let me zip them out. That's pretty cemented on there. Yellow. Oh, Yellow. Where'd you go? Okay. Shouldn't have to pry on this. Let's get rid of this cable. Oh, the cable came back. Shouldn't be prying on this. I don't understand why I'm having to pry it. Oh. Oh, I see. This isn't head gasket material. That looks like RTV. Why is there RTV silicone? That can't seal a head. It can't withstand the pressures of a head. It can't withstand the engine pressure, especially the power stroke or the combustion cycle. It can't withstand those kind of pressures. I'm shocked this thing even ran. Now, how am I going to get this head off? Oh my goodness. Oh, there we go. Oh my. Oh my. Yeah, I don't think that head gasket is any good at all anymore. I was kind of hoping that we could... Darn it. I was sort of hoping that the head gasket would have been okay. We could have just reused it to, you know, test it out. Oh, some of that silicone seems to have gotten on the valve. Oh, that's not good. Let's see if I can scratch it out. Okay, it doesn't seem to be underneath the valve. This one? No. So that's okay. That looks like some got on the valve. That's not good. Even on the exhaust valve. I mean, the valves look good. They do look good. We're gonna have to take them out. It feels like I'm not sure what that is, but that's hard. That's pretty hard. Oops, I dropped it. Oh, it's gone forever now. I think this is one of the holes he was talking about. That one there. That doesn't seem like a pinhole through it. It doesn't seem like a hole through it. It's a pit on the piston though. Huh. Well, let's see if the other piston will fit in this. Let me grab it. There's a replacement piston out of that lawn boy. It needs to be cleaned up. But I just want to see, will it? It won't. Definitely for a smaller engine. That is really too bad. This must have been a 4-horse or a 4.5 horse. That's really too bad. I thought it was a 5 or 5.5 horse engine on that lawn boy, but nope, it wasn't. So it looks like I'm going to be doing a repower for this mower. I guess this is going to be a teardown video of this because I don't have a replacement piston, but maybe I can do a repower for this. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. I'll pull this engine off, do a repower, put another, maybe a Tecumseh engine on if I can find it, a 5 or 6 horsepower Tecumseh. Maybe off another Craftsman engine, Craftsman deck. Maybe the deck will be shot and I can just repower this. Because yeah, this silicone, that's no good. But this head cleaned up, I could reuse this head on another engine if there's a beaten up head. I'll just have to label that this is off a 5.5 horse. So I guess let's start pulling it apart. First things first is let's get these valves out. Oh yeah, I forgot I had this one. But unfortunately, not so much this side, but this side, as you can see down there, yeah, it's shot. The deck is completely broken away. I'd need to do some welding, and I don't have a welder, nor do I actually know how to weld. that'll be something for the future. But yeah, I've got this thing that I can replace this one with. So that's perfect. I can do an engine swap and I have the engine here. Fantastic news. All right, let's get back to pulling out those valves. Okay, so let's get the valve cover off. That wasn't tight. That wasn't tight. So the valves don't look bad in there at all. Just going to put the nut back on so I can turn the engine over so we can see how this engine operates. Or we can see how the valves turn and we can check the lash. Okay, there goes the piston down. Intake valve open. And closed. And that would be top dead center right there. Okay, so let's keep turning it. There's the exhaust valve open. Alright, so now we can check the lash on the intake. See what a benchmark will set around, or we'll check around. Maybe 7,000? 7,000? Let's try 7,000. Probably going to be way too thick. Let's see, or way too thin anyway. So let's see on the intake. Let's see, around 7,000. Yeah, doesn't fit at all. So let's try something a little thinner. Say around 4,000. Yeah, 4,000 fits. So let's try 5. Let's see, 5,000. 5,000 fits okay. See how well 6,000 fits. 6,000 fits okay. So why didn't 7? Let's try 7. Yeah, 7,000 fits. No problem. I mustn't have been putting it in right. Not the first time I've heard that one. 8,000. Yep, 8,000. All right, let's try 11. So I think it's supposed to be around 11. Maybe not. 11,000 is too thick, so that's good. Try 10. 10 is really, really tight. So this looks like it's around 9,000. 9 thousandths of an inch. I think that was the intake, actually. Not the exhaust. That was the intake. Sorry, I was calling that the exhaust valve. That was the intake. So there we go. There's the exhaust valve. So let's check the exhaust. We'll start around the same. Let's start at 9,000. Oh, that's right. It's up here. Yeah, 9,000 fits. 10. 10's pretty tight. 11 fits, but it's much tighter. So I think this is around 10,000. 10,000 is that. Well, let's just quickly check what they should be. Tecumseh 143.95550 valve lash. Oh. So let's see, we've got these ones here, which is between 4,000 and 8,000. Come on. Why not? So what I'm reading is that the intake should be about 4 thou and the exhaust should be at about 8 thou. So these are a little bit out of clearance. I think they're a little bit worn. There we go. There's top dead center. This time it's actually real top dead center, not like last time where I kind of got it wrong. Oops. Let's push the valve out. There we go. Now I can remove it. There's the exhaust valve. It's actually really, really good shape. Let's get the spring out. Let's turn this all the way back. There. That spring went on a little bit of an adventure. Now we get the keeper out. Mirror keeper. So there's the keeper. I guess it's a keeper. Right, now let's get the next valve out. Same tactic. We'll compress the spring a bit, and then we'll move the keeper out of the way. This time's not as easy. I've almost got it. There we go. Now again, we'll use the engine to push it out. There we go. There's the intake valve. It is very, very clean. Great shape this valve is in. Just got to push the rod back down. There's a spring. And now the keeper. I have to say the oil in this is very clean. Oh, there's wood in there. Lovely. Alright, let's mop that out a little bit. So next thing is we're going to separate the engine from the deck. Then I guess we can take it over to the vise, get set up over there, and take the rest of the engine apart. Or I guess I could always do it at this bench here. Alright, let's get set up for that. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to pull the engine apart at the bench as opposed to in the vise. Vise is currently occupied by this home light, and the work table is currently occupied by that Honeywell generator. So before we get this engine off, I noticed this. All these grooves in it. This thing has definitely ingested some stuff. Yeah, look at this. These are metal flakes. Yeah, this engine's really ingested a lot of crap. And it's kind of destroying it inside. This bore definitely, you can really feel these score lines. We'll check the piston, see how that is when we get it apart, but So yeah, this cylinder would need to be rebored. And I don't have the tool for that. The, what is it, the dingleberry tool? But these grooves, they totally catch the pick. See? Look at that. Just like a record. If you listen, you can actually hear it when the pick catches on the grooves. This one's really bad. That's really unfortunate that there's so much crap that got caught under here. But hey, this is what happens when you run a lawnmower without an air filter, or any engine without an air filter. This crap gets in there. That is so unfortunate. Well, let's do a little bit of science. So the piston doesn't rock. That's good. Let's see, can I push it down easy? Yeah, no problem pushing it down. That's too bad though. Alright, I guess we should get this engine off and get started pulling it apart. Alright, let's lift up the mower. Stand underneath it. There we go. I'll just extend it up a little bit. How's it look under here? Well, the blade's on upside down. So there's that. But aside from that, it doesn't look so bad. It looks like it has a self-oiling chassis. But there's still mostly metal under there. So I guess that's not so bad. Right, so let's get that blade off. So it should be 5/8. I wonder. 9/16. I thought, I wonder. That doesn't look like a 5/8. They're usually 5/8, but this is 9/16. Right. I'm gonna take the extension off. Yeah, because I didn't see that happening. Go. Put the blade adapter back on. There. We'll take that off after when we take the engine apart. That way I don't lose it. As for the blade, other than it being upside down, it's actually pretty badly worn, but it can be resharpened. It's not terrible. I think the blade that I have on that Lawn Boy though, I think it's much better, and it should fit this. I mean, this is a 22-inch cut and that's a 21, so maybe this blade adapter will fit on the Lawn Boy. We'll see what happens. And now let's get this engine loosened off. I believe that should be a 1/2 inch. And I'm only seeing 2 engine bolts. Why am I only seeing 2 engine bolts? There's an engine bolt missing. Like, why? Oh boy. Right. So we got this first one. I'll take this one all the way out. The second one, We'll loosen it off. Actually, I think I can hold it, but then it'll be a pain to lower this down. So I'll just loosen it off. There we go. Now let me just lower this down, and then I'll support it and remove the engine. Okay, now I'll just lift it up and completely remove that last bolt. There we go. Last bolt removed. That engine's free. Let's get it off this deck. Oh, that's unexpected. I think a couple of the sump bolts are already on their way out. Come here, guys. All right, let me move this engine away. We'll continue tearing it down. Oops, looks like I made a little bit of an oil mess. Guess there would have been just a tiny bit left, of course. Now we can get rid of this deck. Let me just wipe up my little BP oil spill here. Let me just wipe up my little oil spill here. Good, now we can take the deck off and put the engine back up here. Okay, let's take off this control bracket. Looks like 2 3/8. Goes in a Tecumseh parts bin. All right, let's get the PCV out. Here it comes. There we go. PCV. That's a lot of debris in there. Alright, well, we're going to have to see when we open up the sump what exactly is in there. So let's get these sump bolts off. 3/8. There we go. Oh dear. Oh boy. That's not good. It looks like it's cracked. Oh, it's making a terrible mess though. Guess I should get the grinder and shave that, but I gotta get that out. So let me struggle getting this off for a bit. I'm gonna see if I can use my puller on it. Hopefully that works. And I gotta clean up this little bit of an oil spill. That rubber came out of the oil. I wonder what that's from. Actually, I think this is from that oil tube seal. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is from the oil tube. Maybe the original one. Lovely. So that would have gone through the engine. Right, let me just try to get this off. I'll be back. I'll struggle for a bit getting this off. I'll see you soon. Okay, so that went a lot easier than I thought it would. Believe it or not. The puller. Yeah, this puller made really short work of it. I'll show you again. So it still needs to come off a bit more. And there we go. It's off. Let me grab the grinder and quickly clean this up. All right, got my safety glasses. Let's clean this up a bit. I think that cleaned up pretty nice. Hopefully that helps it slide off. Let me give it a little spritz of WD-40. See how that helps it out. Well, let's give it a few wallops. Oops, that was good. Here. Hard to say. I don't know, I don't think it's moving. I don't know why. I think it has moved a little bit on here. I don't know why they're always so tight for me. I watch videos and they're never this tight. Oh, that's the pin that goes in here. Oh, no, wait, maybe not. Oh, yeah, it is. That's the one that goes in there. So another thing for the rock, for there. See this? That's the, that's what that was. I don't know, maybe I'll get my big puller and try that. Perfect. A few more cranks. Some hammer blows. Couple more cranks. More hammer blows. More cranks. Here it comes. Give it a couple more hammer blows. Now some more cranks. Should have done this last time, and I should have done this from the start. I keep forgetting I've got these pullers. There we go. 9/16. Maybe I mushroomed the head out a little bit on the bolt. That bolt's a little bit bent. Maybe I shouldn't have hit on it so much. Oh well. I can replace the bolt. That's easy. The sump, yeah, it wouldn't have been as easy. Crank definitely wouldn't be easy to replace. Alright, let's move the sump out of the way. Cam gear. Seems like pretty acceptable wear. Let's get these connecting rod cap bolts out. I think they're 1/4 inch. Maybe 5/16. Hopefully they're 5/16. I've got a the oil control ring was a little stuck. Seems to be okay now. But I can't say they're pinholes in the piston, but there's definitely a little bit of a chunk taken out of it. And a little, like some burn marks. But holes in it? No. No holes in it. Scoring on the skirts. There, I cleaned it up a bit. You can see a little bit of wear on the skirt. More on this side. The journal, however, it's showing that there was definitely some debris in there, because there's some scoring on there. I think it's only a matter of time before this one failed. Taking a look at the crank journal. Yeah, there's definitely some pitting there and scoring. Something got sucked into the engine and run through the oil. Right, let me clean this mess up, get the other deck, pull the engine off, and we'll start getting it on the other mower. Right, I'll see you shortly. Right, so let's take this guy apart. What the heck is that? Ay, ay, ay. It's a terrible screw. Let's get that thing out. That doesn't belong in there. Oh, what kind of screw that is. Garbage is what it is. 5/16. Ah, ay, ay. There we go. It's a little stuck in there. That at least is an original screw. Get rid of the plate. 3/8. That's 7/16 on the back. These are 3/8 with an impact that should just rip them right off. There we go. Nope. It released it, but still got to hold it. This one, not going to be as easy. Definitely not going to be as easy at all. I don't have my wobble socket anywhere. How am I going to get this guy apart? How am I going to get this guy apart? I know, with wrenches. We go 3/8 wrench. Gasket. Doesn't look great. I guess it's not terrible. It can stay. Let's get this one off. It's 1/4 inch, or you can use a Phillips. You can use a Phillips and zip it off. Now a 1/2 inch takes the bowl nut out. Get my 1/2 inch nut driver. Up. What the heck? What? It's always a 1/2 inch. The heck? 7/16. Of course. Gonna just call me a liar. Where the heck is my 7/16 socket? I don't know where I put my 7/16 socket. It doesn't seem to be here, so I'll use an 11 mil. It's the same size. Carb doesn't seem so bad. Main jet's pretty clear. But then again, this was actually a running lawnmower. Oh, that looks like water. And what the heck is all that in there? This does not smell good. This smells terrible. I don't know what all that is. Like, what's the white stuff? Yeah, definitely water, but it hasn't sat in here long enough to rust it. Huh. It's water. Lovely. Let's dry that out. Don't need it rusting. I mean, it's pretty clean. Oh dear. Do I hear liquid in here? The needle seems okay. Let me see if there's liquid in this. You hear that? Yeah, this is full of liquid. So this float's no good anymore. Brass emulsion tube usually does not come out. So let's see. Give it a press on it, but I don't think it will. No, it doesn't come out. Man, this thing's really badly corroded. Terrible. Terrible, terrible. Well, it's a spare now, but it's pretty corroded, and like, look at that inside. A lot of crud. Well, there you go. There's the carburetor, all pulled apart. All right, guys. Well, this is the end of part 1. We're going to call it here because this video is getting kind of long. And this is also a Christmas special, so I'm going to release it in 2 parts. Today, being Christmas, so Merry Christmas, everybody. Here's your Christmas gift from me, a 2-part video. This is the first one. We end here, where we take apart the carburetor. And then in part 2, we'll rebuild the mower. We'll get the engine off the other deck and put it on the Craftsman deck. But all right, guys, Merry Christmas. I hope you have a wonderful day. And I will see you Friday. Take care, guys. See you soon. Hey guys, so today we have this. No, we're actually not going to be working on this old lawn boy. We're actually going to be pulling this engine. And if you remember from the Christmas special, if you haven't seen it, check out this video up here. I pulled the engine off an old Craftsman because unfortunately the engine had seen better days and probably would fail sooner rather than later. Well, I have this engine and I'm going to pull this engine off to put on that body. If you're wondering why, you may not see it on the outside, but if I took you under the deck like this, you'd see why I want to get this engine off this body and maybe use this body as a parts filler. Because unfortunately, with that size of a hole in it, this mower, I did repair it this summer. It does not track straight and it is very hard to push. But otherwise, this engine ran pretty well. I want to get this engine off this deck and put it on that old Craftsman, because unlike that Craftsman's mower deck, it ain't shot like this one. All right, guys, let's crack into it. Okay, so first things first. Spark plug off for safety. And let's separate the engine from the mower deck. So I'm going to reattach the fuel tank. As you can see, this shroud is completely broken away. Just remove the shroud for now. Maybe. There we go. There it goes. There we go. Fuel tank's on. There we go. Remove the dipstick again. There. This shroud's going to be replaced anyway. Or I guess it's an engine cover. Not so much a shroud, since it's just more for looks than really anything else. So I'm going to lift it up. Let's pull that blade. Get my stand. And lift it up. Okay, I believe this is 5/8. Let's see. Yep, 5/8. Well, they're pretty tight. Let's set it to take it all the way off now. That's not good. Nope, just doesn't want to come off. That's crazy because I already took this blade off once already. That's insane. I guess I'm going to have to get the torch, give it a little bit of heat treatment. Alright, so I turned on my air compressor. Let's see if Doug can get it off. Alright, Doug. See what you can do. Make sure it's going the right direction, of course. Yep, no problem. Doug got it. Yep, no problem. Doug got it. Yep, no problem. Doug got it. Kind of figured Doug would get it off. That's why we got a Doug around. Because he goes, ugga dugga, and it comes right off. There we go. That's done. Blade is off. See, and as you can see, I did sharpen it. Brand new edge on that. Did a great job cutting my lawn, too. But this blade, yeah, I agree. Probably has seen some better times. Let's loosen off this engine. Pretty sure they're 1/2 inch, but there's paint on them and it just doesn't want to go on. Could be wrong. Maybe they're not 1/2 inch. Maybe they're 13 mil. That's bizarre. This one is definitely 1/2 inch. Oh, that's great. Use a 1/2 inch drive. That makes sense. Smart thinking. First things first. Let's get the 1/2 inch one off. Although, maybe it's not a 1/2 inch. Yeah, that's definitely 1/2 inch. Definitely 1/2 inch. Came off like nothing in the 1/2 inch. Yep. See? 1/2 inch. And the last one. There. Don't want to take it out all the way because I don't want the engine to fall off. Okay, let's lower this down. I've got my 1/2 inch nut driver. I'll just take it off by hand. That's it. That engine's now free. So take off the bag catch, or the bag safety. And using a 3/8, we'll take this off to remove the safety for the mulch plug. Okay, so 3/8. We'll take the safety off. And then we'll replace this. Perfect. Now to remove the engine. All right, the engine's gone. I'm gonna get rid of the deck and I'll get the other deck up here. Right, now let's get the engine back on. Perfect. This looks like it's going to be a great fit. We'll just get rid of this, and then we'll put this back on. I think it'll make a nice fit.
Hey, look at that, guys. Look what I found. A red subscribe button. If you made it this far into the video, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget, give it a thumbs up. Comment below. I love to read your comments, and I try to reply to as many of them as I can, especially the early ones. All right, guys, back to the video.
I don't like this boot. Maybe I'll take the coil off and replace it with the one that was on the Craftsman. I think that'll be a better choice. As for this spark plug, I've got a crazy idea. Now, do you remember that teardown video, this one up here, of the engine that I found in the forest? Well, I'd like to know if that spark plug works. I think it'd be kind of cool to find out if that spark plug actually works. That'd be really funny. That's the coil from the Craftsman. Seems to be fine. Then there's that found engine. There's that coil. I don't think it works. Kind of funny, but kind of a waste of time to find out. This, on the other hand, maybe we should find out if it actually works. I know, I can just pop it on, pull it over a couple times, see if she sparks. Be kind of cool. Be really cool to see if this old friggin' thing works. Worst case scenario, I have a Jingling, and the one that was in the Craftsman, that Fast Fire. So I have a few options as far as spark plugs go. I guess first things first is, let's get rid of that. Then we'll attach the engine, and go from there. Get rid of this. Got the handle off. We'll replace the rope. Now get rid of this. How well is this going to work? Well, one thing's for certain. The oil dipstick's definitely gonna have to move. Yeah, because it's the same shroud, pretty much. I should replace the shroud. I should put this one on, just because it does... Oh, wait. This is no longer the correct engine information. So I can't change the engine shroud. Well, I could, but then it would no longer be the updated engine information. This is the correct engine information for this engine, but I got to get it off anyway because that needs cleaning. So let's pull this shroud and clean out under there. Right, so 5/16. I gotta take that fuel tank off. Oil dipstick tube. Again, 5/16. It's held on down here as well. Another 5/16, but I don't need to remove that. Back here we have 2 3/8. It looks like there definitely was some kind of a critter house here. Or it just sucked up a bunch of grass, but I don't think so. Take off this kill switch for now. Quarter inch, we'll remove this coil. Turn the engine. And, what coil to put on? This busted up old thing? I know secretly down there, I know you really wanted me to try it. I know you really want me to try it, but no, I can't try it. I want to. I really do, but it just... Yeah, another time. I have a lot of Tecumseh engines, don't worry. I'm always coming across Tecumseh engines. Well, that was interesting. What's this? Watch the oil come out. That's wild. A lot of oil. There we go. Let's get the spark plug out. 13/16. Champion RJ19 LM. Oh, this is a J19 LM, so it doesn't have a resistor built in. Let's try this guy. If it doesn't work, not a big deal. Not a big deal. But you have to admit, you do want to see if it works. So do I. I don't like how that's threading in. That seems weird. Well, it's threading in fine. Guess it's just the rust on the threads. There we go. That's all the way in. Yes, we're going to mount down the engine in a second. Now, using a business card, we'll set the air gap. Put a business card in here. Seems a little far forward. I don't know why, but it just... I don't think that's going to clear. Let's see. Yeah. That coil's not going to work. All right. So this coil is... Huh. This old junk coil would work. Technically would. Technically speaking, for all stupidity, it almost would work. Well, maybe if I can push this back. Let's see, will it actually clear it? Not quite. That's ridiculous. It's really close. It would be fun to try, but I can actually hear it rubbing on this side. The fins pass it. Counterweight passes. Oh, it does pass. So let's see. If I put a business card in here. Let's be silly. Why not? There we go. We are now officially being silly. And yeah, as for the air gap, I mean, technically speaking, the air gap's good. This ideally should run the engine. Ideally. But I'm not saying it's going to. But ideally it would. Again, not saying it's going to, but ideally it would. So, we'll see. Never know. It'd be kind of cool. And it's a really easy fix if it doesn't. We just pull this off. we'll have to go back to this coil because I don't know if I have any other ones. Yeah, I don't actually have any other coils for a Tecumseh engine because I'm fresh out. Isn't that nice? Alright, so we don't need this kill wire. That one's kind of useless. We do need this one for the engine brake. So this kill switch. I see. So 5/16. I'll remove that, and this I'll just remove the whole bracket. And now we'll replace that. There, that bracket's gone. Ooh. That doesn't look very good. I don't like that at all. It's still okay. It's not cracked all the way through. I just don't like how that looks. All right, well, let me get the air gun and blast this off. I'll be right back. Okay, so off camera, I changed the rope, but I haven't yet put the handle on. I took the pull recoil from the Lawnmower off for the Craftsman one. I'm trying to keep as many parts for Craftsman on here. Plus, I had to make a couple modifications. I had to cut this slot into this metal for the oil tube. I had to make a hole here so it'll screw into the metal base plate underneath the shroud. Then, on the other side, I had to cut a slot across or it wouldn't fit with the exhaust. Plus, that exhaust there, you're gonna laugh. Remember that teardown from the Forest engine? That's the exhaust from the Forest engine. Now you'll notice there's only one bolt because the other one had broken. But I plan on going and picking up a bolt that matches that one. This way I can replace it. I probably won't have time to do that in this video, but I'll do my best. On top of that, I've got the engine mounted and I sharpened and attached the blade. So this mower is just about ready to go. All we need to do now, get this shroud attached, get the handle on the pull rope, get an air filter and adapter onto this carburetor, attach that fuel tank, take it outside and give it a pull and see if it starts. The worst case scenario, if that coil doesn't work, well, we can always change the coil to the one that was on the Lawn Boy and take this forest find and throw it in the garbage where it likely belongs. As for the spark plug, be really cool if that spark plug works. All right, so let's get started and get this thing back together so we can get it outside and test it out. Right, so let's get this air filter adapter back on. Should they line up in the holes properly? There's one. There's two. Now let's put on a brand new air filter. Part number. Go. Air filter's on. Okay, let's get this cover on. We got our two 3/8 bolts at the back. Now we can attach the fuel tank. Two 5/16s at the front. That hole seems to be a little stripped out. Awesome. Oh well. Shouldn't be going anywhere. No, we won't put that on yet. I wonder if it'll actually work with that coil and that plug. That'd be kind of cool if it does. Get this top cover down.
let's get the one pull start recoil cover on. Able to get at least 2 screws in. Now, because of that one modification, I have to put a different screw in. Keep missing the hole behind. There we go, got it. There, that oil tube is on. Now all that's left, get the handle installed. Pretty straightforward. Rope on, the figure 8 knot. That should hold it. And the reason why it's a little stretched out here is not just because it didn't wind it all the way in, but this gets pulled out to the handlebars anyway, so I don't need it to go all the way in. There's no reason for it because it'll be up on the handlebars. Well, since I've gotten rid of that muffler, I might as well get rid of this guy here. No need to have this guard. Much, much smaller muffler. Made sure to use this on all the engine bolts as well as the crank bolt to hold on the blade. That way, hopefully, it'll be easier to take off. Hopefully. I didn't take the blade adapter off this, and it does have, believe it or not, a self-drive pulley on it. If this mower was self-propelled, it does have a drive pulley on it, but it's not self-propelled. So all that's left now to do with this, get it outside, try it out. This carburetor should work. I did want to put the throttle on this, but I'm noticing that this air intake does not have the holes for the throttle plate. So this will have to be a throttleless mower again, which that's not a big deal. Just set it to around 3,200 RPM and get to town cutting away. Right. So I guess I should get a coat on, get a small area that I can put this, and we can try it out, see if she starts. All right, let's get her outside and see if she'll start up. All right, so I've got my spark checker on there. I wonder if we have spark with this coil. I don't think so, but I figured better to go and check for spark now before we take it outside, then take it outside, have to bring it back in, change the coil, and do it again. So let's try it inside. It shouldn't start because there's not a lot of fuel in, but it might, and if it does, then I'll just kill it right away, but it shouldn't start. And we've got the spark checker on, so I'll just kill the lights, and let's see if it lights up. All right, one sec. All right, let's see. Do we have spark? Well, did we? Did we have spark? Oh my God! We have spark with this old coil. I can't believe we actually have spark. Holy cow, this thing might actually run with these ridiculous parts on it. How about that? All right, well, yeah, let's get it outside. What the heck? That's wild. The coil actually works. Who knows how long who knows how old it is and how long it was sitting out in the elements, but the coil works. That is incredible. That is, now I wonder if that spark plug works. At least that's an easy fix, but I can't believe that coil actually has spark. That is incredible. All right, let's get outside and try it out. All right, we're outside. Let me just move this snowblower out of the way. I'll just move it down to the end of the drive. Choke is on. Give it a few primes, and she should fire right up.
How dare you!
I'll let it warm up for a minute. Choke is off. And she just shut off. I didn't let it warm up enough. Try that again.
Now just move it to the end of the drive. Not very far.
There we go, and off she goes. Clear a small space of this snow. All right, got a nice clear location. Okay, so it's pretty clear here. Let's add some fuel, and hopefully this old girl starts up right away. That would be really amazing if it starts right away. Oops, made a tiny mess. That should be enough to start it, I think. So let's give it a half dozen primes. And let's see what happens. Have the spark plug on? I do. Try that again. A few more primes. Let's try it again. Oh boy. So that coil in the spark plug will start this engine. I think the carburetor might be a little dirty. Let's try that again. Definitely got a dirty carb. So I guess I'll have to pull it off, give it a cleaning, and try it again. Do this again. See if we can get her started. Be nice. Oh, we didn't lose spark on it. Oh, we did. That's what the problem is. The spark plug wire came off. Let me fix that. Let's compress this a little bit. There. Maybe that's why she died. The spark plug wire fell off. Let's try it. No way. No frickin' way. Plenty of oil in it, that I know, because as I said, I serviced this summer, so it's got fresh oil. Now it's got fresh gas. Clean carburetor. Running a little fast, so let me adjust that. Let's drop those RPMs a bit. Let's see how that is. Still seems to be running a bit fast. Is the governor stuck? Let's see. Wonder if the governor's a little stuck. Yeah, stuck on this hose. The air breather tube. Now it seems to be moving free. Let's try that again.
There we go. That's better. Let me get a clamp on this.
All right, I've got my clamp on. Let's see if we can adjust the RPM a little bit.
we go! She's back from the grave! She is back! We're back, baby! We did it! We got this mower running perfect! That is incredible! I can't believe this thing. Just fantastic. Yeah, Grant didn't change the engine, but that's just it. We've got that old boiler from that engine from who knows when. What's the same spark plug from that engine that we found in the forest? So a boiler spark plug from that ground engine, and look at it, it's running this thing. It's running it perfect. That is incredible. That is absolutely incredible. I am completely floored. Unreal.
Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, I am absolutely amazed by this, guys. What a fantastic way to end the holiday season and end the year. Because this is my last video of this year. That's it. The next time I see you will be in the new year. I hope you guys had a great Christmas. I hope you really enjoyed this Christmas special. I can't believe this. John, thank you very much. I appreciate the mower. This is fantastic. I'm just completely floored. I'm absolutely floored by this old girl. 1985, yes, we upgraded the engine. You'd never know it. I got all the old shroud on, so it looks like it's original. I'm very impressed. Very impressed with this old girl. Thanks, John. Yeah, I think I found my mower. I really do. 22-inch cut, big goofy wheels with ball bearings. And it runs flawless. It runs absolutely flawless. I'm just going to drain the fuel out for the winter. And, well, yeah, guys. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. And, yeah, I'll be seeing you soon. Expect to see more of this old girl out having some fun, because I plan on doing a few crazy experiments with this. Let's see what silliness that we can do with this old girl. All right, guys. I'll see you in the next one. So how about that, eh, guys? This old girl. 1985 Bedeck. Who knows how old this plug and coil is? At least from the 80s. And it runs this old girl perfect. Just fantastic. I'm completely floored by this. We got the old exhaust from that old one. So forest find engine exhaust, forest find engine spark plug, forest find engine coil or ignition coil. Not bad. Not bad. The rest of this, engine carburetor off of Lawn Boy, which is a Toro product. We got the Craftsman air filter housing, brand new air filter. Sure, she's not much to look at, but it runs. And this is actually a pretty fun little mower. All right, guys, well, spark plug off for safety. If it comes off.
It's a Craftsman 944. It's a Craftsman 944. It's a Craftsman 944 push lawnmower and a 5.5 horsepower Tecumseh Eager 1.
Yeah, I've got my magnetic my magnetic 13/16.